To achieve President Trump's vision of making America the crypto capital of the world, today I'm announcing the launch of Project Crypto.
Breaking news. The United States SEC, one of the most important regulators globally, officially rolls out Project Crypto to rewrite the rules for digital assets.
The future is arriving at full speed, and the world is not waiting. America must do more than just keep pace with the digital asset revolution. We must drive it.
So if you hold crypto, this affects you in a big way. SEC Chair Paul Atkins unveils Project Crypto, a commission-wide push to modernize securities rules and move the U.S. financial markets on-chain. Let me share with you exactly what's changing, what's being updated. We also know that the SEC just released new listing standards for crypto exchange-traded products. We understand what happened to the Bitcoin price when Bitcoin exchange-traded products were approved. So we now have a list of altcoins that meet the requirements. This was crazy. As well as CEO of JP Morgan Chase today, surrendering on crypto live on CNBC.
We'll be in it and we'll use it. And if the customers want to use it.
Watch today's whole video so you understand everything. But let's start by listening to exactly what the new SEC chair Paul Atkins said. And I really did love how he started the speech by talking about how crypto is the natural progression of technology.
Over the arc of its history, the agency has both enabled innovation and, regrettably at times, stifled it. Fortunately, progress has a way of prevailing. And when our regulatory posture is calibrated to meet innovation with thoughtfulness rather than fear, America's leadership position has only grown stronger. In the 1960s, before my time, I'm happy to say, Wall Street was riding a bull market. But behind the scenes, our market machinery was straining to keep up. Most clearing and settlement transactions involved a costly and physically and cumbersome process. Rising stacks of paper stock certificates had to be physically delivered by clerks, wheeling carts up and down Wall Street and in other financial districts all across America. It was a scene from another century, struggling to meet the demands of the modern securities markets. Indeed, paper-based clearance and settlement systems built for a gentler era began to buckle under the weight of soaring volumes. Delays at one firm held up the work of another. Securities were lost or stolen, fails ballooned, and many thinly capitalized broker-dealers were caught by the whiplash of scuttled transactions. In desperation, trading hours were reduced and exchanges eventually closed on Wednesdays, believe it or not, to allow firms to process the mountains of certificates. The breakdown over an antiquated system was described by the SEC chairman at the time as, quote, the most prolonged and severe crisis in the securities industry in 40 years. Firms failed. Investor confidence plummeted, unquote. And very much to its credit, the SEC was proactive in remedying this so-called paperwork crisis. The agency helped market participants to develop the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, which would transform how securities were held and traded. Instead of shuffling paper certificates from customer to broker, broker to broker, and broker to customer, title to certificates could now be transferred through computerized ledger entries. The certificates themselves were immobilized, stored securely in vaults, as ownership moved electronically, laying the foundation for the modern clearing and settlement system that has continued to this day. The ticker tape machine, like this one here, that old fossil there, was also a breakthrough of its time, revolutionizing how Americans accessed market information line by line, trade by trade, but breakthroughs don't belong in the past. By the late 1990s, electronic trading systems surged in popularity, unsettling old assumptions about how markets should function. Chairman Arthur Levitt likewise believed it behooved the SEC to provide regulatory flexibility for electronic markets to innovate. So, Regulation Alternative Trading Systems, or Reg ATS, adopted in 1999, allowed for ATSs to be regulated like broker-dealers rather than like exchanges. So this brings me to today, to a moment that demands American ambition, to a project that certainly can unleash it. Our regulatory framework need not be anchored to an analog past, unkind to new frontiers. After all, the future is arriving at full speed, and the world is not waiting. America must do more than just keep pace with the digital asset revolution. We must drive it. So today, I should like the world to go on notice that under my leadership, the SEC will not stand idly by and watch innovations develop overseas while our capital markets remain stagnant. To achieve President Trump's vision of making America the crypto capital of the world, the SEC must holistically consider the potential benefits and risks of moving our markets from an off-chain environment to an on-chain one. We're at the threshold of a new era in the history of our markets. As I mentioned earlier, today I'm announcing the launch of Project Crypto, a commission-wide initiative to modernize the securities rules and regulations to enable America's financial markets to move on-chain.
So I liked this because it shows something like this. This is just the natural evolution. It feels like the SEC is going big. This is the first time ever something like this is happening. But no, every certain amount of decades, they are forced to evolve. Also, he talks about taking securities markets on-chain. Securities are what's offered in the S&P 500. That has a market cap of $53 trillion. The SEC now wants to put all of that on-chain. Atkins also proposed easing licensing rules to allow for multiple asset classes or instruments to be offered by brokerages under a single license, while also creating a clear market structure separating commodities, which most cryptocurrencies fall under, that's big, from securities. So he's putting the world on notice that after this huge historic passing of the stablecoin bill, which already happened, the market structure bill is happening, and he will do whatever is in his power. Obviously, Congress has to get this to the goalposts, but he is pushing hard.
Just a few weeks ago, President Trump signed the Genius Act into law, ensuring that America will continue to lead in global payments with a gold standard stablecoin regulatory framework. Upon signing the Genius Act into law, I was pleased that President Trump endorsed congressional efforts to pass crypto market structure legislation by the end of the year. I commend the House of Representatives for garnering such strong bipartisan support, and I look forward to working with the Senate as they build off the House's work and craft market structure regulation that future-proofs our markets against regulatory mischief, cementing the United States as the crypto capital of the world.
So as all of this comes on chain, and it's a process, this will take multiple years, well into 2026 and beyond.
To enable America's financial markets to move on chain.
What blockchain do you think this gets tokenized on? Quick take. Ethereum right now owns stablecoins. They are the backbone of DeFi. Most stablecoins are built on ETH. Solana is building a decentralized NASDAQ, meaning tokenizing real-world assets on-chain. Many chains are doing it. Solana right now seems to be the fastest horse in the race. Also, Cardano's Edge, unlocking Bitcoin DeFi, which truly could unlock $2 trillion plus onto the Cardano blockchain. We'll get to that more in a future video. But Project Crypto, to me, just sort of illustrates how early we are in this whole technology boom. I mean, if we go over to the Ethereum price, we see Ethereum price right now isn't even hitting the all-time highs of 2021, which, yes, back then, largely due to NFTs, was overvalued. We were overhyped. I mean, fundamentals have increased, I'd say probably 100x. I mean, let's be safe here and maybe just say 10x or 5x. Price isn't even back to what it was. Also, like I mentioned, the SEC has released new listing standards for crypto ETPs, exchange-traded products. Any altcoin with at least 6 months of futures trading may qualify. Other sources are reporting that any token with over 6 months of futures trading on Coinbase, specifically derivatives, appear to be likely for approval. According to Eric Balchunas, September or October timing is expected for multiple altcoin ETF approvals. So who qualifies? We know obviously XRP is a strong contender to qualify. We also see Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Dogecoin, Polkadot, it's a big one, Avalanche, this says Shiba Inu, technically qualifies, doesn't guarantee, Chainlink, Stellar Lumens, Solana, Hedera, Cardano, and XRP. These are the altcoins that have the best chance for the next crypto ETF approval. Now subscribe to Altcoin Daily for one video per day, keeping you informed. It's free to do, and this could give you an edge in crypto. Click subscribe, join this team. And that has forced CEO of JP Morgan Chase, Jamie Dimon, to capitulate on crypto live on CNBC. We are going to accommodate. It's what the customers want.
And I think there are really, so I'm a believer in stablecoin, a believer in blockchain, not personally a believer in Bitcoin itself, but you're the customer. I don't like to tell customers what they can and can't do with their money. That is a whole different issue for us. And so we're going to accommodate those things.
Essentially what this is referring to is JP Morgan and Coinbase are partnering to enable direct bank to wallet connection for Chase customers, meaning if you have a Chase bank account, you can directly buy crypto. Hey, by the way, expectations for August, there should be major Cardano news coming out in August because the Rare Evo conference is happening, and I will be sitting down with a fireside chat at Rare Evo with Charles Hoskinson himself, and we are going to have an in-depth conversation on Cardano. I love it. Obviously, this is an ongoing story. The minute I get more information, I will keep you updated, and like always, see you tomorrow.